Hello and welcome to my Monday night live stream on a stay. I am a little bit confused here. I realized when I just logged on that I set this live stream, set it up when I was in a different time zone. So it was set up to start at 9 and it was meant to start at 10. So if anybody was here at 9 o'clock, I am so sorry for the confusion. Today, I want to talk about some predictions when it comes to artificial intelligence. I have searched the web and collected some of them, and a little bit about what can be possible advantages this upcoming year and what can be some of the risks with AI in 2024. The reason I do this content on my channel nowadays is that I'm so old, so I was online when we first got internet, and I remember how people were so afraid about what consequences would be of the internet. Some of them were actually relevant, but most of it back then were due to misinformation or lack of information. And I think with the speed that AI develops nowadays, I think it's really important that we all stay informed, but also that we are part of the discussions around AI so we can be part of the solutions. And with that said, one more thing before I start. If I look like I'm been crying all day, I haven't. I have right now a bad eye infection, which makes my eyes runny, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I am not sad, just to clear that out of the way. I have prepared a couple of slides here that I would like to present to you. And first, I want to change the layout here, put myself up in the corner, and let's take a look of what predictions we have from different websites. And I will later on put together a document that I will link down in the description after this live stream to all the sources I have used for this. So, predictions for 2024 when it comes to artificial intelligence. The first one has to do with how AI will develop in business. And it says that businesses are expected to deploy more smaller, specialized models in production rather than large general purpose ones. These AI applications will be deeply context aware and capable of complex, nuanced interactions. And this is all types of businesses, from chatbots to effectiveness and streamlining workflow and so forth. And this is probably a pretty secure prediction that we will go from these big models to smaller, more specialized models. When we talk about AI in real world settings, AI systems will be used in real world settings, ranging from conversational interfaces to completely autonomous systems, revolutionizing industries such as healthcare, education, robotics, and e commerce. And if you are curious about my thoughts about AI in education, I just did a separate video about that on my channel. When it comes to cybersecurity, something we always need to think about. Let me take that banner off so we can. Where is it? There we go. AI will significantly impact the cybersecurity threat landscape. AI driven cyber defense systems will proactively identify and neutralize automated threats. An arms race between AI driven defense and AI assisted offense is expected, driving innovation in security solutions. Just as we improve what can be done in defense, AI is also used from the bad guys. So this will be a race on who get it best and first. AI in the workplace. For many workers, 2024 will be the year of the AI co-pilot, transforming work processes and potentially leading to AI-linked job losses. And on Thursday, I will have a separate video coming that talks just about AI work losses. Another prediction is that more AI tools will run on mobile phones, transforming our relationships and hobbies as much as business. And since I started today by comparing this to when we got the internet, back then we had big computers, and if you were investing a lot of money, you might have a laptop. Today, we have computers of this size, a phone, that is much more capable than the initial computers were back when internet came. And we will have a lot of AI and have already a lot of AI built in to our mobile phones. This is an interesting one. Chief AI Officer. A number of Fortune 500 companies will create a new C-suite position, Chief AI Officers, reflecting the growing importance of AI in business strategy. So this will be, we will have companies have their CEO, their CFO, but we will also have more of CAIO, Chief AI Officers. Collaboration among leading AI organizations will accelerate the research and development of robust, safe AI systems. Standardized safety protocols and best practices are expected to emerge. And this is something that I believe is necessary, and also why I believe it's so important that all of us are part of this discussion. And this is a tricky one. Up to 2 billion people could vote in elections globally in 2024. Not using AI to vote, but are able to vote in elections. And AI may also be used as a scapegoat for election losses by candidates, excuse me, by candidates who don't respect electoral integrity. And I will come back to election and how AI can be misused when it comes to elections when I talk about the risks. Then we have an area where AI has been important. AI has been used to design quantum physics experiments beyond what humans have conceived and to detect high risk of developing lung cancer by analyzing an X-ray scan. And this is something I think is important, that we develop good AI tools for analyzing data when it comes to healthcare. We could do a lot of good with AI in that section. And then we have AI in military applications. It's likely to be used in weapon systems, logistics, decision support, research, and development. For instance, AI generated 40,000 novel hypothetical chemical weapons in 2022. Important here is hypothetical, but if we can create weapons hypothetically using AI, we must make sure that the bad guys don't do it in reality. So that was my predictions I found. Let me make myself a little larger here. The predictions I have found for 2024. But as I said, we also have to look at the risks and the potential advantages. And let's start by looking at the advantages. And the possible advantages are quick decision making. AI can gather reliable, in quotation, because we will talk about bias in AI later on, but can gather reliable insights at a much faster pace, enabling quicker decision making. AI systems are always available, thus facilitating faster decision-making processes. This can be good and bad. If we make sure that the material they are trained on are without bias, this can be great. Especially, I think, when it comes to catastrophes like earthquakes, or like they just had a big earthquake in Japan. If we can better predict what is going to happen, where the next big earthquake is going to happen by using AI and analyze history, it can be really helpful. And just the fast pace that AI can analyze data is definitely an advantage. And here again, we talk about security. AI is expected to play a crucial role in data security, one of the most critical assets of any tech-oriented firm. AI can help protect confidential data, ranging from consumer data to other sensitive information. And this is really, really important when we go forward using AI, that we make sure we have secure systems. And environmental protection and space exploration. AI will be used to develop new technologies for reducing pollution and protecting the environment. It will also be used for exploring space and potentially colonizing other planets. I think that is far in the future, not in 2024. But someone somewhere said something about 2024 will probably be the year where we finally can explore Mars. So who knows? Enhanced customer experience. AI can assist drivers in remaining focused by decreasing distractions, analyzing driving behaviors, and enhancing the overall customer experience. Passengers can benefit from customized accessibility as well as in car delivery services. This, I don't know why it focused so much on about cars, but I think it is all types of customer service that can be enhanced. And then we have the integration of AI in operational processes can lead to search inefficiency, automating data analysis and reporting and other repetitive tasks. And this is where AI in the workplace and co pilots play a big role. And then we have for us that are content creators. Generative AI has transformed content creation by enabling the automatic generation of text, images, and even videos. Content creators can use AI powered tools to brainstorm ideas, create drafts, and even generate entire articles. This is a double edged sword. And we will come back to that when we talk about the risks again, about ownership of creative material, for example. In the financial sector, generative AI aids in analyzing complex market data and predicting trends. It can process vast amounts of financial information to provide insights and forecasts, assisting investors in making informed decisions. And this was written specifically for finance, but it also can be the same scenario when we talk about environment or earthquakes or whatever area we're talking about. By analyzing a large amount of data, we can predict a lot of things. Educational support. AI can provide educational support, enhancing learning experiences and outcomes. But it can also be deceptive if it's not used very carefully. So I would take that with a grain of salt. AI can take personalization to a higher level, providing more tailored and relevant experiences for users. And we already seen that. If you are go to Netflix, they suggest what you should watch. If you go to Amazon, it suggests what you should buy. Everything based on your history, what you have watched before, or what you have bought before. This will probably be even more tailored in the future. And the same for YouTube. Your YouTube, when you go to YouTube, it suggests a lot of videos for you, depending on what you have watched in earlier. So, and I think AI, not even though it already do this, I think it will be more efficient and really suggest things that you are very interested in. And then the big question for everybody that are interested in AI and follow the debate: artificial general intelligence, AGI. AGI, which can perform and accomplish intellectual tasks that only humans can, could soon be a reality. Many organizations, including OpenAI, are working to create a technology that could potentially surpass human intelligence. Here we come into really discussion on how far are we going to let AI develop, and is AGI possible this year? We had the discussion about when Friedman got fired from OpenAI. Had we had the debate, did this have something to do with them maybe already reaching AGI or not? I don't think they did, but I think it might be possible that we reach that during this year. So now let's look at the possible risks with all of that. And I think it's important that we, everybody, that, and this, actually everybody is in one way or another affected by AI, even though we might not be active users. And it's important that we that are not scientists or not tech people in that sense are aware of both the advantages and the risks, and that we express our feelings about the development of AI. And a couple of these are more important that we take an active role in. So we start with privacy and data, of course. Integrating sensitive information with AI systems, particularly large language models, LLMs, like ChatGPT and other models like that, could expose it to new forms of cyber attack, as traditional security controls for databases may not apply to AI systems in the same way. And remember what I said when I talked about the advantages. We are probably going to see a lot of advantage and development when it comes to security, proactive AI. And here we will have a fight. Which one goes first? Which side, the good side or the bad side, develop their applications first and most effectively? Because both sides will work on this aspect. AI's capability to collect and analyze extensive data can pose significant privacy threats, especially when handling personal or sensitive information. There is a risk that AI could deduce details about individuals without explicit consent, which raises concern about data ethics and the need for responsible data collection and usage. This is where it's important that we keep the debate alive and that we talk about these risks. Because to look back on the introduction of internet and world wide web and email and all of that, I believe that if people had talked more openly about what was possible, what could happen back then, could have prevented many of the negative aspects that developed. But we, when I say we in this sense, I'm talking about regular users, regular people, didn't make sure that we were informed and knowledgeable enough to really understand. And if we do that again with AI and let the bad side that really, really try to understand how this works, let them take over, I think this can be a real problem. And that's why I believe everybody should not just be concerned, but should make sure that we educate ourselves, both of risks and advantages. There is an emerging trend of AI powered attacks where cyber criminals use advanced AI techniques for automated attacks, including AI driven social engineering attacks that mimic human behavior to trick people into revealing sensitive information. This is another reason why I think it's so important that we all are informed and learn. Back when internet started, people got fooled easily because they didn't understand how things worked. And if we make sure that people are aware of especially the social engineering attacks, we can prevent a lot of misuse. And talk about misuse. The ability of AI to generate content could lead to the distribution of harmful content, intellectual property theft, and challenges in determining the ownership of AI generated creations. And this is a multifaceted problem. The distribution of harmful content can be in form of deep fakes. It can be in form of misinformation in articles uh, that really looks very legit but are not. And of course, the ownership of AI generated creation is a separate problem. Who owns the right to AI generated art, for example? Let me recognize. Hi, Swedish mom. It's okay if you can't stay. I know it's probably really early. What is it, 6 a.m. in Sweden or 7 a.m.? Then we have ethical and societal implications. And here we come into AI bias and discrimination. 5:20. So it's 7 hours from me. Well, you go and take a rest, Swedish mom. I'm always glad to see you. You know that. As I said, AI systems can inherit biases from their training data, which can lead to unfair or discriminatory decisions. Addressing these biases is crucial for ensuring that AI systems make fair and ethical decisions. And this is AI in general, not just multi language models, not just chatbots, AI in general. And this also has to do with deciding how open the creators of these AI tools should be about the training data. And so far, it's a hard discussion because how much should they reveal and how much should they keep to themselves? And remember, I talked about elections. AI could impact the 2024 election by fueling misinformation and deepfake technologies, which could confuse voters and complicate the political process. There is also concern about AI's role in spreading disinformation and false narratives. And here I think the only way we can try to work against this is by making people better aware about what is possible to do, how deep fake, how easy it is to create a deep fake, or how easy it is to create an article that looks very legit. But also, we need rules on how and where these can be published. And for example, YouTube have now started and they will start to implement the new rules where you have to upfront tell that this is AI generated content. And that is at least one way of trying to not stop this, but make it less effective to do these things. And then we have what I predicted in another decision that we will see, at least here in the US, some laws and regulations around AI on a federal level. And I am well, let's read what it said here first. The rapid advancement of AI technology often outpaces the development of rules and processes designed to regulate it, leading to a lack of guardrails or disclosure requirements that could mitigate the risks associated with AI. And I personally predict that we will get rules and regulation here in the US on a federal level this year. At the same time, I am a little bit worried that our legislator that makes these rules and regulations maybe are not understanding the concept as well as you could hope. I don't know how it was here when we first entered the internet world, but I know back in Sweden where I lived at that point in time, we got some regulations, especially when it came to using internet in schools, that weren't the best solution for really taking advantage of this new tool. It just restricted a lot of things that would have been possible. And I'm afraid that maybe the same thing will happen here if the legislator are being too quick to create rules and regulations around AI and don't take the time to really understand the effect that those rules and regulations will have. The reason I think we will see something here in the US in 2024 is that it is an election year. And in January 2025, we will probably have, well, we will have a new leg, legislation, I can't talk today. We will have a new Senate, a new House, a new president, or maybe the same president, but we will have changes in the legislative body. And I think these sitting House representative president want to show that they at least have done something when it comes to AI. And that's why I think we will see something happening this year. And I hope that if my prediction are correct, that they have learned enough to make the best possible decision. And then intellectual property theft, as I said. The use of AI in generating content and ideas could lead to cases of intellectual property theft or copyright infringement, as AI applications could inadvertently input sensitive or proprietary proprietary I can't speak data. This is a big problem that comes from not knowing enough and not knowing what data certain AIs are trained on. And we have had cases where here in the US where I know a group of authors claimed, I think it's even a civil case going on, where a group of authors claimed that I think it was ChatGPT must have been trained on their literary work, because when you ask ChatGPT to write certain things, it was like it copied parts of their literary work. And this is a problem we have to solve. How to protect copyrighted work, but also how to be able to use these tools to create new writings, images, videos, and have ownership of what you created using these tools. And here is the whole reason for me changing my content on my channel. This is what it all comes down to for me: AI literacy as a part of digital literacy. There is a need for the public to become more AI literate to understand and mitigate the risks associated with AI technologies. This includes being aware of how AI can be used and misused. When I talked about AI in education, I talked a little bit about the digital divide. And that started with, we started back in the days with computer literacy, to be able to use computers. And the computer literacy divide, that some people know how to use computers and others didn't. Today, I don't believe, at least in this side of the world, that this gap exists anymore. Then the next step was digital literacy, to understand how to use the internet and digital tools. And we had and still have a divide when it comes to digital literacy. Now we're adding on another component, which is AI, a new technology that isn't new. The first AI discussions started in Dortmund in 1956, when they first started to play around with the idea of creating an artificial intelligence. So that is 56, that's 68 years ago. So it's not something new. But the last couple of years, AI has been something that is available for regular people like me. And this has created a new part of the digital literacy that now needs to include AI literacy. We all need to learn and understand how AI, this last sentence, could be a, a declaration of my channel right now. Being aware of how AI can be used and misused. We all need to learn. And that's my predictions for 2024. We will all encounter AI much more than today. The AI models we encounter will be smaller and more specialized, and maybe even harder to really, as a consumer or a user, harder to understand that this is an AI I'm interacting with. We will have a battle between good and bad when it comes to AI security. And we will have an increased AI use in our mobile phones. I also think it will, in the US, come down to some form of regulation of AI on a federal level. I know that YouTube have started the process of have some kind of regulation or description of what you need to do if you have AI created content. And I think we will see that in more places on the web, on different social media. I am pretty sure that there will be more rules regarding how you can use AI. Excuse me. I also think that we will see AI tools used more when it comes to education, especially maybe on the higher levels, college and university. But what I think we might miss out on, which we totally missed when we all got exposed to the internet back in the late 80s, early 90s, whenever you first started your interaction with the internet. I think we will not be as efficient as creating AI literacy for all people. And I think it's important that that starts early to create an awareness of what AI is, what it can do, and what it might do that is on the more negative side. And if anybody in here has any questions right now, any thoughts, I will try to answer them the best of my capability. If not, and if you're watching this later on, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments of this video. And I will give it a couple of seconds here to see if anybody has any questions. And meanwhile, let's listen to some music here, and I can try to clear my throat. So enjoy the music for a second. Okay, since it seems like we have no questions right now, I am gonna end this live stream. I really need to go and put some eye drops in my eyes again. And I hope we can all keep this discussion living. If not here on my channel, maybe at work, maybe with your friends, maybe have a conversation with your children. And let's make sure that AI will be the tool it can be. and not the tool the bad side wants it to be. That's all for tonight. And remember, never stop learning. Goodbye.